the Tata Vista. This is the 1.4 litre any bounce version. The budget B segment offering from Tata. An older design, but very neat and slightly raised bodywork. The 1.4 litre engine puts out 55 kilowatts and 114 newton meters of torque. So not a very powerful engine, but certainly adequate for city use. Coming round to, of course, the boot with a flap on top, and it has 186 litres of space in the boot itself, with, of course, a 2/3, 1/3 split on the rear seats that you can fold down, giving you 865 litres if you fold down all the seats. So you do have the options over there. Being the any bounce version, it is the base version available. There is also an upper spec version. So this one comes with steel wheels with plastic hubcaps, etc. And you'll see inside as well a couple of items that would come on the higher priced, more luxurious version as well. Let's take a look inside. Inside the Tata Vista, very basic, but nothing wrong with that in a budget B segment car. You have, for example, manual window winders, which certainly operate like they always used to. The steering wheel doesn't have any controls on the wheel, no buttons, but it does its job. And of course, you have the horn. You come to something that is very different on the Tata Vista. Is if you look straight in front of you, well, no instruments there, because your instrument panel is in the center of the dashboard. Could be a design feature in making it much easier and cheaper to change from left to right-hand drive. But all your instrumentation, which is obviously basic, is in the center of the dashboard. Rev counter, which is nice and useful as well. Coming down, in the bounce version, you do not get a sound system. That comes in the upper version, but there is one fitted over here. And then lower down, of course, you have your controls for your ventilation and standard air conditioning. So definitely a useful feature there too. 5-speed manual gearbox, and like lots of cars today, the nice thing about this is nice and light and easy to drive. Very comfortable. It's a town car through and through. Fuel consumption, very light. Tata's official figure, 6.5 litres per 100 kilometers. I haven't been monitoring consumption, but having done about 250 kilometers of town driving, certainly seems to be pretty light on fuel. Other than that, very basic. You have your cloth trim, and it's a pretty comfortable place to be. We'll see what the back seat feels like. Stepping into the back, the first thing that one is struck by is the fact that there's more than enough headroom for me, even with my hat on. And legroom, certainly for a budget B segment, I have no complaints about legroom either. 2 to 3 in the back, I'd say more comfortable for 2 than 3, but no problem there. Which brings you to discussing the car itself and the proposition. The any version, the bounce version, retails at 132,995 Rand. You do go up to the Ignis version, which is 153,995. So you're talking, let's call it 20,000 Rand difference. But there is something very, very crucial that you have to look at between the two versions. The Ignis version, the more expensive version, has 2 airbags and ABS brakes. The bounce version has neither of those two. So you have to think very carefully on your safety spec. 133,000 Rand for a budget B segment hatchback with a 1.4 litre engine is an absolute bargain. You can't deny that. But it's your choice about the safety spec. What the Ignis also adds in is a standard sound system, again, and electric windows. Both versions do have central locking, so that's a good security feature you have there. If you take a look at approximate monthly payments with a 10% deposit, you're talking a difference of not even 300 Rand per month on a monthly HP for the upper version. So it comes down to your affordability. Can you afford the version with ABS brakes and 2 airbags, which obviously from a safety point of view I would always recommend? Or if you are totally budget constrained, then you go at the bargain version at 133. Both versions do offer you a motor plan, a maintenance plan included, or not a maintenance plan but a service plan. 3-year 75,000 on the bounce and 4-year 100,000 kilometer on the Ignis. both included in that price. And that's a massive factor that you need to take into account in your purchase, because you've got no maintenance costs for those first 3 or 4 years. Overall, yes, there are options on the market, but this is certainly a budget-priced, budget B segment contender in the market. And if you are buying your first car maybe, or for a youngster, you need to look at this Tata Vista, because it certainly comes in at the right price with the space that you want. And if you keep those revs up, pretty peppy performance as well. For Motor Matters, I'm Alan R. See you next time.